Hello friends, today I'm going to try and do this realistic pencil portrait. But before we start, let's take a deeper look at this reference photograph. We must work out our plan and strategy at the very beginning. We must take cognizance of the features that makes this portrait truly unique. Let's start with the highlights. This highlight around the nose is making the portrait pop out of this paper. Observe this highlight on the forehead and on the top of the eyebrows. There's some soft highlighted skin beneath the eyebrows as well. Some soft blended highlight around the cheek area. Some finely done reflective highlights from the lips. Now these are very bold and bright highlights in the eyes. Aren't these earrings really looking glittery? These are very transparent, and if I'm not wrong, I can see some diamonds studded on it. Finally, the glittering garment she is wearing has highlights all over the place. The right eye over here needs to be a little blurrier than the left eye because the right one is really away from the photographer. So in other words, the left eye needs to be a little more sharper. I will be using a Brustro heavyweight medium surface paper for the artwork today. As I go along, I will be explaining all the interesting art supplies that I will be using. So please keep watching till the end. I have already transferred the outline of this portrait using the grid method. Start by using an HB pencil to do the base of the background and blend using a tissue paper. Now I'm doing the base layer of the forehead and the right side of the face using the same Derwent HB pencil. Blend with a makeup brush and then use a 2B pencil to do the next layer. Now use a 4B pencil to increase the dark tone on the same areas. I'm actually using a dry makeup brush to do bulk of the blending for the first time. I hope I'll get a very smooth blend. Now follow the same technique of sketching and blending and move to a 6B pencil. Now use the knee head eraser to lighten up and add some texture around the forehead. Use the most darkest pencil you have, probably the 8B and the 9B, and complete the eyes including the eyelashes. Keep using the makeup brush for a smooth blending effect. Now these are very bright and bold strokes as you can see. So let us use a blending stump and see if we can blend it smooth. You may then move on to the knee head eraser. Just see the way I have shaped it, and then you can start bringing in some highlights. The mechanical eraser should be used only in case of very bold and bright highlights, but I must caution you against its use because it is very difficult to control. I suggest it is much easier and safer to use the mono zero eraser wherever possible, and then you can of course use the blending stump and the knee head eraser to do all the blending work. It is now time to do the hair, and as you can see I have started with the 2B graphite pencil as I do the base layer, and then I will follow the same technique of blending it over with the dry brush, and I'll follow it up with the 4B and the 6B pencil accordingly to increase the tone layer by layer and try and match with the reference photograph. I have kept some paper whites at the middle to allow for the highlights later on. Notice the angle of the pencil while doing the hair strokes, they're slightly different. Do these individual pieces of hair in details using the mechanical pencils. I'm really using all these art supplies and experimenting with the artwork. See how effortlessly I can get those mid-tones in the hair using the Tombow Mono Zero eraser. It is much easier to control. Check the reference photograph at this stage and make sure that these mid-tones are in line with the folds of the hair. Time to time you can use a sandpaper to clean off and sharpen whatever erasers you have. Add some skin textures by using the knee head erasers, and the mechanical pencil can be very useful. As you can see, I'm adding this very stubborn and short baby hair, so these are very important assets, and then you can just use the dry brush to blend over. By the way guys, did I tell you this is my first attempt at a realistic pencil portrait? Do comment in the comment box and let me know your feedbacks. If you remember, I told you at the beginning that this eye has to be a lot sharper. So use the mechanical pencils to do those individual hairs, and then use the 2B, 4B, 6B pencils to increase the darkness step by step. I have become quite a fan of this knee head eraser. Look at the way I can get those mid-tone highlights. Comment in the comment box which one is your favorite art supply and let me know. At this stage, I'm probably thinking that the focal point of this portrait is really this left eye. So this has to be sharp, and I have to put in a lot of effort and a lot of patience behind it. So I'm really going slow step by step. With this left eye, my aim is to go as dark as possible. So probably I will be using the 8B and the 9B pencils a lot. The eyeball is my favorite area to do in a portrait, and especially with such beautiful eyes. Tell me in the comment box what's your favorite area in a portrait. I must admit that I get goosebumps when I do these highlights in the eyes using the Mono Zero eraser. It does bring those eyes to life. Also notice that I'm using a sheet of butter paper just under my palms, and that is to protect this portrait and to make sure that I don't transfer some of this dark graphite to the other areas of paper white. Here I am now increasing the darkness of the eyeballs using a 9B pencil. I must tell you guys that I'm not a very big fan of this electric eraser, but this is the best way to get this miniature highlights done, especially which are very bold in nature. But I must say it is very difficult to control this eraser because of the vibrations. Now, in a complete contrast to the electric eraser, I find the Tombow Mono Zero eraser much better, especially for these mid-tones. Especially I feel like I'm in full control. The knee head eraser is very versatile, and I must say this is my favorite. Do let me know in the comment box what's your favorite art supply. I'm now done with the eyes, and I feel I'm pretty satisfied with it. So I will now shift my focus to the rest of the face and use the same technique where I will just start from the lighter shade and then just step up the tone step by step. Let me know in the comment box what else subject you want me to pick up. Do you want me to do a portrait of a child or maybe an adult man? I was wondering whether I should pick up maybe a furry animal and give it a try. Let me know. The tip of the nose is a very important area from the realistic perspective of this portrait. It will make the portrait stand out from the background and create that perspective for the viewers. I started this channel Brush and Canvas very recently. Initially, I uploaded few very quick videos and some shorts just to get warmed up and to get started. But now I feel comfortable and I think I have the right combinations to start uploading some finished work. My areas are also oil painting, but at the moment I'm loving the pencil sketches more because I believe it is much more easier and faster to get some results. But let me know what other topics you want to see. Meanwhile, I can see that the portrait is already taking a nice shape as I start putting in the base layer for the lips using the 2B pencil. Just trying to be very cautious here with the teeth and making sure that I have the right tones for the lips. I just felt it is much easier to start with the lighter shade first. Start with the 2B and go up the ladder using a 4B, 6B, right up till 8Bs and 9Bs. In that way, you are always in control. Now you can see that using the sharp edges of the knee head erasers, I'm trying to get the highlights going in the lips. Then use the blending stump here to blend the bold and narrow strokes. You can get a very smooth blend using this. Few finishing strokes with the pencil. Use the mono zero eraser for those narrow highlights. Followed by a final layer of blending, and the lips are all ready. Perhaps the most easiest part of this portrait is the ears and the backbone. So I start by blocking the darker areas with a 2B pencil and then give it a nice blend. The earrings is going to be very challenging. I want to create as much of transparency as possible so that there is a lot of depth. Let me know in the comment box which is the area that you enjoyed the most, and definitely ask any questions if you have. Following the same technique, I leave some pepper white for the highlights later on, and I am using the knee head eraser from time to time to get in the mid-tones. For the brightest of the highlights reflecting from the earrings, which I believe are diamonds studded on it, my preference is to use the electric eraser. Look how I'm putting in the highlights, and these are really looking bright and bold. I was matching the portrait with the reference photograph and I realized that I was not very happy with the lips, so I started to work back on it. I gave it an additional layer of blend before I put in some more additional details. Finally, add the highlights back with the mono zero eraser. Start doing the base layer on the chin now. Use the 2B pencil to fill up the darker areas, and then use the blending brush to give it a very smooth blend. If you want to know more about the portrait, I will place my phone number in the description box. you can WhatsApp me at any point and I will get back to you. If you want to know more about the supplies that I have been using, I will also add the links to each of them in the description box. Since this is my first video, let me introduce myself. I am Indranil. I belong to the eastern part of India, basically from West Bengal. I am an IT software professional for over a decade now, but painting is my passion and I have been following this for a long time now. I wanted to grow and learn more in this area, so that's why I opened the channel and started to upload these videos. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe with your friends and family. This will help me to grow and keep me motivated to bring more such videos in future. At this stage, I am just using the mid-tone highlights on the dress using the knee head eraser, and then I move on to the electric eraser to add the more brighter highlights. Notice how I am using the electric eraser on the forehead to get rid of the extra dark areas. I felt that I made it too dark, so I wanted to get in some highlights to match the reference photograph. Then giving it a blend with the dry brush. Basically repeat the same steps on the cheeks. I realized that I had the cheeks too dark for my liking, so I erased off some of that dark with the electric eraser, and then I used the makeup brush to do the blending work. Create some more skin texture using the blending stump. That will make the portrait look very realistic, and I'm adding some more highlights here to the cheeks. Some more detailing on the dress using the electric eraser, and we are all set. Finally, I am using the white jelly roll pen to do the final finishing touches and adding a bit of more highlight. Just make sure you don't overdo it. Just a few touches here and there is absolutely fine to really bring out this work. Please let me know if you like my work and if you would like to see more such portraits from me in future, and please like, share and subscribe. Finally, it is time to pull off the masking tapes and reveal the final work. Let me know if this step-by-step tutorial was useful for you guys, or would you like a more detailed explanation? Thank you. Keep watching.